Hello gentlemen and gentle ladies, my name is Sir Stanger, and today we're going to be covering a topic that I covered a few weeks ago, but we're going to expand upon it and explore it a little bit further. Something I didn't know the last time I covered this topic was exactly how passionate you guys were about this same topic. It's by far my most popular video, and it's good to know that you guys are as passionate about these kinds of things as I am. Now, last time we talked about this, I thought I pretty much covered everything, but as I thought about it more and more, it seemed like that this was a really big topic, and there was a lot more to go into than what I initially included in my first video. And before we get too deep into it, again, I just want to emphasize I'm not quitting Team Fortress 2. I know the title can be a bit misleading, but this is meant to be a part 2 to another video I have already made. And I'll be leaving a link to that video down in the description. I highly suggest you watch it before this one, just so you don't have any confusion as to why I'm not covering other parts of it, and to make sure that you're caught up on the topic as we're talking about it so far. Now, right off the bat, I just want to clear up any confusion that I am perfectly aware of the difference between quitting Team Fortress 2 and simply migrating to another game because you like it more. As is natural with any game, some people will find themselves taking a hiatus from Team Fortress 2 either temporary or more permanently because they found another game that they're more passionate about, and that's perfectly normal. No, when I say quitting TF2, I mean more disassociating themselves with the game completely. They've decided to cut ties with the game and don't really want anything to do with it anymore. This is the kind of behavior that I was talking about on my last video, something that I called stupid, and I stand by that. I still find it to be pretty dumb behavior. Quite ironically, shortly after I'd finished the last video about quitting Team Fortress 2, a friend of mine sent me a message on Steam. It looked a little something like this. Now, to be perfectly honest, I didn't even really remember who this guy was. My friends list is pretty crowded and I'm already pretty bad with names. Also, you can change your name on Steam as many times as you want a day, so that can lead to some confusion as well. But given that he was on my friends list on Steam, I must have met him somewhere on Team Fortress 2, because I don't really play any other games socially on Steam. Now, this is a bit of an extreme case, because not only is he trying to disassociate himself with Team Fortress 2, but also anyone who continually associates himself with Team Fortress 2, which is a lot of hate held towards a game. It's just a free-to-play game. Now, initially I just laughed it off. It's just another person on my friends list trying to clear his friends list out because he doesn't play Team Fortress 2 anymore. But then I was struck by a larger question that I hadn't really thought of before. Why do people hate Team Fortress 2? Now, since I personally don't hate Team Fortress 2, it's a little bit more difficult for me to answer that question. But we're going to try and break down and analyze Team Fortress 2 to see if we can find a reason exactly why it is that people hate this game so much. Now, a quick disclaimer, I don't know or claim to know the reason that every person has ever quit this game, so try not to take it too personally if I start generalizing here. Now, one of the first things that comes to mind when talking about hating a game is having an extremely bad experience within it. This can vary from having a really bad gameplay experience and also having a very bad social experience, at least when you're talking about an online game. Team Fortress 2 has its fair share of bugs, and some of them can even be considered game-breaking, although if you're leaving because of that, that's a pretty dumb reason, since most of those will get patched out pretty soon. Even knowing Valve, it's hard for them to ignore a bug that'll completely break the game and make it unplayable for everyone, so that usually gets taken care of relatively quickly. As far as from a gameplay aspect, if you're already playing Team Fortress 2, chances are that there's not going to be too many reasons for you to hate it based off of the gameplay. We've all had bad days where we faced critical as scouts and died constantly, and not had a whole lot of fun playing the game, but that's not a reason to cut ties with everyone on your friends list who still plays it. And I know a lot of people right now are leaving because of the lack of quick play, which I can halfway understand. It was definitely a very nice thing to have. But the server browser allows you to do most of the exact same things you were able to before, and with the recent openings of lots of public servers, it's a little bit hard to justify that reason. Now, there are some people who are just so short-tempered or impatient they'll quit a game for basically any reason, and that can include the gameplay or anything else. This is what makes Rage Gamer videos so funny and entertaining, because they're just getting angry about something very stupid, and oftentimes they'll do a lot of damage to things around them because of it. Now, having some degree of gamer rage is perfectly normal and understandable, but I'm sure there are those out there who just can't keep it under control, and it can probably lead them to just uninstalling the game the same time that anything doesn't go their way. In this case, it may be for the best that these people just don't come back to Team Fortress 2. We don't really need that kind of rage gaming there, as it should be a bit more of a peaceful community than your average Call of Duty lobby. But there's more to the gameplay of Team Fortress 2 than simply shooting one another. It's important to remember the hundreds of trading lobbies in which people go to in order to trade their low-tier or high-tier items, sometimes for great gain or great loss. I know that there have been a myriad of people who've quit Team Fortress 2 because they've been scammed out of some very important or expensive items, and it can sometimes lead them to kind of lose trust into the game and not want to put any more time into it since something they put so much effort into was basically stolen from them. And that sucks, and I completely understand, because I too have had my account hacked into and seen every single one of my items taken from my inventory, and I haven't been able to do a damn thing about it. I just had to watch. These kinds of experiences can sometimes lead to people leaving the game, and while it's hard for me to say that those people are making the wrong move, it isn't exactly a great reason to be leaving an entire community behind. Now let's shift focus on over to the more community-oriented side of Team Fortress 2, and the social aspect of the game. Now, one of the biggest reasons I think people probably leave Team Fortress 2 has something to do with the fact that they just don't have anyone to play with. And they might not even totally realize that to begin with. They might just see themselves as getting bored with the game and not having any more fun doing it as the things that they usually do. Getting bored with the game and feeling lonely while playing the game are two fairly similar feelings, and they can often be mistaken for one another. That being said, Team Fortress 2 is a very social game, and it relies very heavily on you playing with your friends. And with the recent loss of the public queues, it's made it a little bit harder for you to simply queue up with your friends and just play in a random lobby. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that anymore, it's just simply made it more difficult. It's not prevalent on the front page, and it's not as easy as just clicking twice and being in a game. So let me just say this. For every reason that there is to leave Team Fortress 2, there are at least 10 reasons to stay. And I don't mean stay as in be a permanent member of the society of Team Fortress 2 and play only that game for the rest of your life. What I mean is, there are lots of reasons to stick around and at least have the game installed on your computer, so that you can jump in and play a casual game every now and again. If you find yourself struggling to find a reason to play Team Fortress 2, I ask you this question. Do you feel like you've played every aspect that there is of Team Fortress 2? Do you think you've really ventured into the deep depths of the game and discovered everything that it has to offer? Chances are pretty good that you haven't, and the reason I say that is because I'm over 2,000 hours into the game and I don't even feel like I've covered everything that there is to know about this game. Before you completely give up on Team Fortress 2, why not give a shot to competitive? And I don't just mean the competitive mode that they've recently put into Team Fortress 2, but try building a team, like a Highlander team or a Sixes team. Or just join a pre-existing one. You might find that you have a lot of fun that way. Or maybe try out the trading community. You might find yourself having a lot of fun with the economics of the Team Fortress 2 marketplace. These are both great ways to make friends in Team Fortress 2, and I've made some lifelong friends just by playing this game and doing the competitive mode and trading with people. I've made some seriously good friends that way. Beyond that, why not try your hand at map making, or maybe make some mods? Try your hand at making models. You might find yourself having a lot of fun designing new things to be in Team Fortress 2. Or maybe start a YouTube channel, something that I did pretty recently. You might end up finding that you're a prodigy of rocket jumping, and you end up joining the rocket jumping community. Perhaps you're really good at trimping, and you end up joining the trimping community. There's honestly no end to the things that you can do in Team Fortress 2, and so that's one of the reasons why I find it kind of insane for people to say that they're just going to leave it behind and never look back. If somehow you felt like you've done everything you possibly can do in Team Fortress 2 and just none of it appeals to you whatsoever, then you have a pretty good reason to leave the game. There's not a whole lot there left for you if you've done absolutely everything. And if you've managed to do that, I applaud you, sir, because that is a lot of activities to do. I think this applies to a very small part of the Team Fortress 2 community. Some of those people who have like 10,000 hours, 11,000 hours, those insane amounts of time in the game, which I'll get to one day and hopefully I'll still be playing at that time, but it doesn't apply to most people. So please, if you or someone you know is thinking about quitting Team Fortress 2, why not try and get them to try some new things, or you yourself? It takes thousands upon thousands of hours to master something in Team Fortress 2, and there's so many things to master. And that's what makes this one of my favorite games, because there's just so much to do. And there is never ever a bad time to start something new in Team Fortress 2. Myself, I just started a YouTube channel, and I found that it's actually brought me a lot more love for Team Fortress 2 than I had even beforehand. And Lady, my fiance, she's been starting a Twitch channel, and she has found a lot to do in Team Fortress 2 because of it. And one last time, I just want to state that I don't know you personally, and you might have a really good reason to stop playing Team Fortress 2, and that's fine. I implore you to go ahead and leave the game and uninstall it from your computer for whatever reason that you might need to do so. The world is a big and complicated place, and I can't sit here and try and categorize every single person into some weird reason for leaving Team Fortress 2. But if you find yourself having to leave Team Fortress 2, I wouldn't suggest telling every single person on your friends list that they can't be friends anymore. You just come off as a kind of a drama queen, and it doesn't really look bright upon you. And if you should ever decide to come back and see what this game has to offer, maybe make some new friends and some great life experiences, Team Fortress 2 will always be here waiting for you. It's a free-to-play game. It's not going to cost you a damn thing. And that covers just about everything I can think about this topic now. Is there anything else that I missed? Please let me know down in the comments section. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this topic, since it's obviously something you're very passionate about. And with that, let's keep the internet classy. I'll see you then.